Good evening, everyone, and welcome here for the round of Indianapolis. We're here for race 18 of the 30-race schedule. The races are winding down. The championship lead is really close. 5 points is the difference from first to second, and then the top 6, 53 points. Ryan Acosta in the late race of Chicagoland had to pit and fell way down the order. He trails by a good bit coming in this race. But it is Yant Motorsports, Fingai Saitomi, and Allen Family Racing Team that are also close for this 2019 championship season. However, Will Lewis is still a little further behind. Matthew Rodriguez is too. But looking further to this race weekend, Nick Mace was quickest in practice. He looked really quick and on pace. Jake Bassinger the same way. He practiced third, however, was insanely off the pace, had problems in qualifying. He'll start on the last row of the grid. On the front row, though, it is Dejon Weeks and Ryan Griffin. Jordan Davis is up there as well. He qualified in the third position. Weeks is looking to hang on to his point lead that he's had for the last 2 races now. Weeks is going to have his teammate right behind him on the restart here. And Ryan Acosta back there in row 3 could be a threat for this afternoon. Jeffrey Fingai starting up there in the top 10. How about DJ Curtis? He's been having a miserable race weekend in the last few months here for Curtis Racing. He qualified 9th, and PJ Williams for CM Racing, they needed a good run there in 10th. Back-to-back top 10 qualifying efforts. How is this race weekend gonna fare? Let's get ourselves down to the 250-mile race here at Indianapolis. Getting set and ready for a special 250-mile race. It's gonna be 100 extra miles than what we're used to seeing. Dejon Weeks, Ryan Griffin, who have been the class of the field for most of this season, is gonna bring the field to the green. There's Davis, Mace, Lamas, Acosta, Sanford, Fingai, Curtis, and Williams. That is your top 10. How is this race going to unfold? Dejon Weeks ran so good here last year and got the victory. Beat Ryan Griffin off. Can Griffin get redemption here at Indianapolis? The two line up on the front row. 100 laps for 250 miles. We're racing. Dejon Weeks gets a good jump there. Jordan Davis trying to get the inside of Griffin. Off of turn 2. Dejon Weeks is going to have a clear advantage. This is such a long race this afternoon, but it's also a special one. It's a crown jewel on the schedule. Many drivers want to win here at Indianapolis. Same thing for Darlington. And look at Griffin around the outside trying to get a good run around Jordan Davis, but Davis is going to power it back in. But man, Griffin's got a good race car. He's going to get second away from Jordan Davis to take lap 1. It is going to be Dejon Weeks that leads the first lap this afternoon. Jordan Davis going to line up in third. Cody Lamas, the Mace Enterprises cars, 3 of them right there, racing for 4th. Lamas moves up to 4th. Sanford up to 5th. Mace, who was really quick in practice, and he's falling down the orders just slightly. Here comes Williams. PJ Williams the inside. Caution flag is out already in lap 2 of this afternoon's race. And Jeffrey Fingai looking for a position on Sanford, but racing back to the caution flag. Ryan Griffin to the inside of Dejon Weeks, who has been involved in a wreck down in turn 1. It looks like it's Matt DeLeo. May have been a 1-car incident, but further back, a big battle for 3rd place. Davis looks like he's going to hold off Cody Lamas, but Lamas is trying to fight back. But Ryan Griffin has got the lead, and he'll lead it to the caution. Gonna take another look at it. Matt DeLeo tries to cut up in front of Josh Crash. He slides up into TJ Martin, and around they go. Martin in the wall. DeLeo spins in front of Rodriguez there, and Rodriguez did a good job to check up and avoid that. Bassinger and Fitzwater, who all had pretty miserable qualifying runs, they made it through just fine. Well, we're going to go back racing again. Lap 6 of 100. Nobody came down pit road, which was a little bit interesting. Ryan Griffin will take us to the green here. 2 Yant Motorsports cars behind him, then 2 Mace Enterprises cars behind him as well. Fingai, he's had a pretty solid run. He moved up the order a little bit. PJ Williams, a fantastic run at the start of the afternoon here. He's up to 7th place for CM Racing. They look pretty quick, at least in the short term. Williams could be a threat this afternoon. Sean Harple's up to 9th, while Nick Mace has dropped down to 10th. Luke Martin is back in a race car for this afternoon, driving for Martin Rodriguez Motorsports, his own race team. Martin will be back for next season, driving the 0 car that PJ Williams is in right now, which is up in 7th place. Martin didn't have the best qualifying effort. He started deep down the order. He's down in 32nd, trying to get into the top 30. There's one driver who has been making his way up the order as well, John Art, who started outside the top 20 slightly. He's up in the top 10, right behind his teammate's back bumper. This is a race for 8th position. Nick Mace just worked his way around PJ Williams. CM Racing looking a little racy this afternoon. They got 2 of the race cars inside the top 10 right now. Further up, a race for 2nd position. Jordan Davis to the inside of John Weeks. Jeffrey Fengai getting really close to Cody Lamas. He nearly hooked the 5 car. But Davis trying to get underneath of his teammate, but Weeks got a good car. That outside line got a good run there. Here comes Fengai. Side by side, Davis not able to do anything with Weeks there, but Fengai is able to get underneath of Cody Lamas. And Lamas is going to get shuffled back here as Sanford, Mace, there's PJ Williams. And look at there's another Chevy of Sean Harple. The Chevys are looking really decent this afternoon. It's a handful of Chevys all in the top 10, and they're all from 6th through 10th. Having a good, decent afternoon, though. Sanford trying to work on Fengai while Mace tries to work on Sanford. This is a race for 5th place. Fengai's got a really good Nintendo Dodge there. It's been a while since we've seen the Nintendo colors on the 92. Williams has worked his way underneath of Nick Mace. PJ Williams, who had a great run at Indianapolis here last year, he's there in the 0 car, looking for another position here on Sanford. And look, there's John Art underneath of Harple. Mace Enterprises and CM Racing are doing battle this afternoon. It's fun to see this. CM Racing giving Mace Enterprises a little bit of a run for their money. They're racing inside the top 10 for position. Fengai gonna give it a go to the inside of Davis, side by side. Title rivals, Davis only 5 points out, while Fengai has slowly crept into 26th behind. He is trying to keep the title fight alive. Davis, that outside line's kind of a pretty good groove to be in. You get such a good run down these long straightaways. And Davis, he has fell down to 4th position. Sanford's up there in 5th, but here comes Williams looking for 5th place. And PJ Williams, look at his teammate John Art. CM Racing, where does the speed come from? They struggled in the summer break. They struggled coming back from the summer break. They were really nowhere. And CM Racing, there they are, the 0 and the 3 car, up to 5th and 6th place. Look at CM Racing go. And how about Fengai looking for 2nd place? Jeffrey Fengai's on a march, and he's up to 2nd place. Eric DeMax has been making his way up the order as well. Eric DeMax, looks like something may have happened because Eric DeMax has really made a move up in this last lap. He went from 10th up to 7th place. Wow, and here comes Acosta cutting his way through traffic. The Mace Enterprises cars look like they're not very good on the long run. Nick Mace, Charles Sanford, Cody Lamas, they're kind of bogging down the rest of the pack here. Zayden Davidson, Will Lewis is there. Dylan Young, there's DJ Curtis and his teammate Luis Hernandez with Jesse Turner too. But up the order here, PJ Williams looking to get around Jordan Davis, while Eric DeMax tries to work on John Art. A little further behind, the guys that are lower down the order, there's Dylan Schwellenberg. He's racing here with Caleb Hoffman. They're in 19th and 20th. This is the 2nd pack further behind, but there's a crash that was all the way down towards turn 4, and it involves Chris Dodd. Here it is, a race for 30th and a little further behind. Oh, Jake Bassinger is going to hook Chris Dodd right up into Luke Martin and Kyle Collins. And Chris Dodd, 2nd race weekend in a row now that Dodd's been hooked in the left rear and spun out. But this is going to severely hurt him. And down the straightaway, would not be very surprised if the officials did something with Jake Bassinger, because that was a little unnecessary. Lap 18 of the race. Brian Griffin's going to lead the leaders down. Everyone is pitting. Going to get ready for another restart. Kyle Collins and Chris Dodd are out of the race. They will get no points for this afternoon. But up the running order, it is Griffin, Fenguy, Davis, Williams, and Eric DeMax. Then is Arndt, Sanford, Weeks. Weeks had a terrible pit stop. Will Lewis is there in 9th. He needs a good afternoon. Dylan Young in the championship mix as well. He's been very good at Indianapolis in the past. There he is in 10th. But Fenguy getting shuffled out by Jordan Davis, and here comes PJ Williams. I'm telling you, the last few weeks, we have had some upset winners in the Sony Cup Series. Eric DeMax, where did his speed come from at Texas to win that race? How about Jordan Fisher? Where did that speed come from at Chicagoland? I don't even know where he came from to be that quick that race weekend. But where is the speed for CM Racing coming from? They have made great adjustments to get their cars back in contention, where they really wasn't a contender in these couple rounds after the summer break. But Williams getting shuffled out by Eric DeMax. And Williams is going to get pushed back a few positions here. Eric DeMax in his Toyota, he's had good speed. However, he's also going to get shuffled out. Charles Sanford, the winner out at Barber, is now up to 4th place. And Dejon Weeks trying to fight back. Battle for 3rd place. Fenguy really digging hard on Jordan Davis, but here comes Weeks. He's to the inside. And Jesse Turner has moved his way up the order as well. And Dejon Weeks is up in the 3rd position. He is so close to losing the championship lead to Jordan Davis again. Davis in pursuit of a 3rd title. He's to the inside of Ryan Griffin. But Griffin's got a good run on the outside and good run down the straightaway. Dylan Young, Yamp Motorsports is looking strong for this afternoon. They're all in the top 5, but for now they are. Here comes Sanford and Turner. They're going to move their way up the order. And Davis continuing to pressure the 43 of Griffin. Griffin, man, he nearly gets tagged by Davis. Big crash. Cody Lamas is up in the wall. He was riding the fence. And Dejon Weeks is on the inside. Racing back to the caution flag. We're just a quarter of the way through the race. And we already had 3 caution flags. And Dejon Weeks to the inside. He does take 2nd. Dylan Young trying to get underneath Davis, but he's not going to do it. And racing back to the caution flag, it is going to be Ryan Griffin. Here's what happened here with Cody Lamas. And it looks as though hard racing. John Arndt trying to go up the middle. And up in the fencing he goes. John Arndt's there. Oh, Nick Mace. What a heavy lick for him. Jeff James. Man, Cody Lamas gets pile drove right up in the wall. Nick Mace getting hit around a whole lot there. And a lot of drivers keep piling in. Luke Martin, Diego Yepes, Johnny Gardner's coming in there to hit Matt DeLeo. Wow. A lot of drivers. There's Jeff James. Didn't even mention much of him. But James, he's returning to the Sony Cup Series in 34 for next year. And his return here at Indianapolis is not going to be very well for him. Nick Mace, he looked like he could have had a winning car for this afternoon after practice. And more cars look like they've had problems down in Turn 3. Here it is, Caleb Hoffman. He's really not had a very good season, but his teammate comes up and hits him. And more contact with Charlie Smith there. What a wacky caution flag. Here it is. Looks as though John Arndt goes up the middle. Gonna have to get a better view. I need to wind it back just a little bit. I think Arndt saw that there was an opening, but Lamas was making a wider arc, and I don't think Arndt was expecting it. Last week's winner, Jordan Fisher, was involved in this one. It's not going to be a fairy tale story for him. DJ Curtis trying to check up. Bobby Jones hooks the 48 there, and back up the wall he goes. It was a hard hit for Mace. Bobby Jones gets collected. Jack Halleck, who was a top 10 contender in practice, he was involved on caps. And a lot of contact further back. Lamas is upside down. He gets hit by Josh Crash, which flies him up in the air. And then just a bunch of carelessness of drivers piling in here at the end. Nick Mace getting hit 3 times here. And both times by Fuel Brothers Racing cars. Diego Yepes. Not going to be surprised if the officials hand down any sort of penalty. But the leader to the caution flag was Ryan Griffin. Well, we're back in on our way of racing. Dylan Young, Zachary Fitzwater, and James Richardson. They all stayed out and they did not pit. Everyone else did come down pit road, reporting that they thought they ran over debris that was on the back straightaway. So, we're going to see how these front three drivers getting fanned off these drivers with newer tires. They didn't run very long, but a lot of drivers out of the race. We now have Dodd, Collins, Crash, Martin, Smith, Gardner, DeLeo, Caps, James, Hoffman, Lamas, Mace, Martin, Yepes, Bassinger, and Arndt. They are all out of the race for this afternoon. James Richardson trying to put up a good fight here to hold on to third place, but it doesn't look like he's got that good of a car. Oh man, the 43 Griffin thought about throwing it up the inside, but he thought a little bit better of it, but he's going to get him through turn 2. Here comes Jordan Davis, going to try and follow Griffin through. Ryan Griffin's going to have his eyes set on Dylan Young and Zachary Fitzwater. For the race lead, Zachary Fitzwater, the inside of Dylan Young. I'm actually surprised not more drivers decided to stay out. But Fitzwater trying on Dylan Young, but that outside line looking very preferable right now. Young is going to keep Fitzwater off, but man, Griffin and Davis have such good race cars. The inside of Zachary Fitzwater. This should be a breeze for Griffin to be able to get around the 22, and he will. So they're up to second and third now. Richardson still holding on to a top 5 run. He's trying to keep Jeffrey Finguy off, but he can only do that for so long. He's going to be able to get to the inside of the 22. Davis continues to throw punches at the 43, but Griffin holds firm right now. Ryan Griffin looks like he's got one of the best cars. Richardson to the inside of Fitzwater. He's going to go up to 4th place. A little further back, Dejon Weeks, he's still down the order. He's in 13th position. His bad pit stop, he has not been able to fight his way up as quickly as I thought he would be able to. He's trying to struggle in traffic, and he's down the running order a little bit. He's going to have to work his way through some race cars if he wants to get up there and challenge Jordan Davis, who is his recent title contender, who's the closest fighter in the championship mix. Eric DeMax does work his way around Zayden Davison. Davison looking like he has a handful right now as he continues to fall down the order and is going to lose out on a top 10 run. Rodriguez, who started out back in the top 10. Jordan Davis continuing to throw any little punch he can at Griffin. It is still a little early, but he is real racy with that 43, trying to get around him. Contact! Davis to the inside. Made slight contact with the 43, tried to give him a nudge to get him out of the way. It is relatively hard to make a pass here. It's almost like a one-lane racetrack, and you try and make your passes down the straightaway. But Finguy, the loss of momentum by the 1 car is going to allow Finguy to take position of Jordan Davis and James Richardson, who have made great calls with their strategy, which hasn't really hurt them a whole lot. Richardson's got a good car. He's up to 4th place, and Young continues to hold the lead. Zachary Fitzwater and Matthew Rodriguez, they qualified 40th and 42nd, had problems in qualifying, and Fitzwater, with a great call to try and stay out there and get track position, he's holding pretty solid in the top 10, and Rodriguez continues to pick his way through race cars. Jeffrey Finguy to the inside of Ryan Griffin, and he's going to easily take that away. Jeffrey Finguy, Dylan Young, they haven't won a race yet this season, both of them on different strategies, and Finguy's got a good car. This should be an easy overtake for Jeffrey Finguy and his Nintendo Dodge, trying to take this spot away. Dylan Young, Jeffrey Finguy side by side into turn 3. Jesse Turner moving his way up the order. He's also trying to become a contender for this afternoon's race, but they're racing really hard behind him off turn 4. Finguy's going to get the lead. Ryan Griffin trying to get 2nd. Jesse Turner side by side with another Ford, but Richardson, very impressive with a little bit older tires, trying to keep that 17 back. The Jordan Davis machine also trying to overcome some ground he lost after making contact with Ryan Griffin. Fitzwater's there too. Rodriguez and Harple, that makes up the top 10. Weeks is to the inside of Harple. He's trying to get back in the top 10. As they continue to race, Griffin finally gets clear of Dylan Young. Young continuing to fall back on the high side there. James Richardson, the same strategy call as him, losing some positions there. But Jeffrey Finguy trying to check out. He's got about a 2nd lead on Ryan Griffin. Another crash down the back straightaway. A big collision. A lot of cars piling in. Dylan Young's there. Dejon Weeks. There's Ryan Acosta. He's involved. A lot of championship contenders are in this wreck. There's Zayden Davidson, Charles Sanford, Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Schwellenberg. There's PJ Williams. He was also in it. James Shelley, Jack Halleck, A lot of race cars are in this wreck. Trying to see what happened. Dejon Weeks was trying to make do with his teammate Dylan Young. Young came down on Dejon Weeks. They made contact. Up on the wall they went. Fitzwater's there too. And there it goes. And Ryan Acosta trying to check up, but he can't do nothing. He gets piled in, and Curtis just flat out ran over Bobby Jones. Wow, another big wreck down the back straightaway. Indianapolis continues to take out race cars. You can almost sort of feel like the teammates at Yamp Motorsports were racing each other a lot harder after the summer break because they know a championship's on the line, and contact with Weeks and Young is going to send both drivers of Yamp Motorsports into a spiral downfall in the standings, and they're going to lose a handful of points this afternoon. And Dejon Weeks is going to lose the championship lead, but how far back is he going to end up leaving this race? Ryan Acosta needed good fortune for today's race, and, well, with other contenders wrecking in this, you would think this is exactly what he wanted, but he's also involved in it, and this is going to severely hurt Acosta. He checked up just like he needed to, but just unfortunately got rear-ended. Well, we're not even halfway in the race, and we have over half of the race cars. Half of the race cars are out of the race, and this is given flashbacks to Kansas last year, most definitely. Usually we have one of these races once a year, and maybe this is going to be our once a year thing. Indianapolis has been very ugly to our race car drivers this afternoon. Jeffrey Fenguy, though, seen 3 drivers he is contending with for the championship get involved in a collision here. He's out front. Drivers did pit under caution flag. That's why the running order is shaken up. Griffin had a bad pit stop. He took some time under pit stop to make some very big adjustments. Jordan Davis is up to second now. Turner getting shuffled back. This could be a race where some drivers like a Sean Hartville, like a Luis Hernandez, like Jesse Turner, Eric DeMax, they find it relatively easy to be able to try and win today's race. Eugene DeMax, a one-off tip for him. Eugene up here racing for a win in this afternoon's race. And how about Jack Halleck in a damaged 90 car with a damaged rear end? He still has really decent speed in that 90 car, and he's up to par. Dejon Weeks, there's a lot of damaged race cars out there. James Shelley's one of them. And Charles Sanford also has some damage. Jordan Fisher, a lot of drivers further behind. Many drivers have damage this afternoon. About 10 of the last 10 cars have damage. So this could be a dogfight between Jeffrey Fenguy and Jordan Davis, because about 10 of the remaining 20 cars are all damaged out there. And with this being a fight for the championship, Davis and Fenguy, this could be a fight for the ages today. We're getting reports that Ryan Griffin, we believe, has ran into somebody on pit road under last caution flag, because Griffin has slight damage to his hood. It's very, very minor, but which is not a whole lot of damage compared to what some drivers are having out there, but it is enough to affect the 43. But Griffin is up into the 7th position now, and he's fighting for every point out there. And Dejon Weeks, even though he has been involved in that wreck, he doesn't have as much damage as some other drivers. He's trying to race Eugene DeMax to get into the top 10. Race for 3rd position, Eric DeMax, Jack Halleck, Jesse Turner, they're racing here. Halleck has no back end, which if you're going to be fast, that's kind of where you really want to have where you want to have some damage on your back end. It is not affecting the aerodynamics there, but Ryan Griffin, he also has some slight damage, but he is trying to make the most of it to the inside of Halleck in the 90 car. Halleck has been, this Roush Family Racing organization has really made great progress since the summer break, and I'm telling you what, this race team has been super impressive, and it is great to see somebody like Halleck in the top 5, but they're racing really hard with Dejon Weeks there to the inside. He's going to pick off a handful of positions there as he continues to march his way up the running order. Ryan Griffin on the inside of Eric DeMax. This is for 3rd position. And Griffin's going to pick off that race car. Right now, Dejon Weeks is 1 point trailing Jordan Davis. And with this pass, now Dejon Weeks is only 1 point ahead of Jordan Davis in the championship standings as things run. And Jeffrey Fengard continuing to try and nip into that point lead little by little. And Ryan Griffin trying to beat Dejon Weeks this afternoon and also stay within a gap of Jordan Davis, if not beat Davis. These top 5 race cars should have the pace to be able to contend for today's race, but Fengard and Davis, they look very, very quick against the rest of the field. And I don't know if the 2017 Rookie of the Year contenders of Griffin and Weeks are going to be able to run these guys down and fight for the win. I believe it's going to come from either Fengard or Davis, and Weeks continues to race with Ryan Griffin. Eric DeMax has had to come down pit road from 5th place, so I don't know if this is a call that's had to be made, or like a tire down, or if it's a strategic call, but Eric DeMax has had to give up 5th place on lap 64. Lap cars have gotten in the way of Jeffrey Fengard and has allowed Jordan Davis to get right on the back bumper of the 92. Look at this! And wow, that Dylan Schwellenberg kind of helped his teammate out there. Man, Fengard tried to get on the door of the 1, but Jordan Davis had none of it. And Davis takes the race lead. All right, Eric DeMax pitting was made for the pit strategy, as the 1 of Jordan Davis and Jeffrey Fengard using DeMax are on pit road. The pit strategy for Eric DeMax to come in a little bit earlier has allowed him to get on the back bumper of Jeffrey Fengard. Fengard, though, did lose a little ground to Jordan Davis in pit stops. However, the leaders of Ryan Griffin and Dejon Weeks, they have stayed out along with 11 other race cars, and they're waiting to come down pit road while they continue to race for the lead. Dejon Weeks is making a dive onto pit road, and they're staying out a lot longer. Will this be beneficial late in the run to try and run the leaders down when tire wear comes into play? Weeks is on pit road while Griffin continues to stay out. Jordan Davis should be the eventual race leader for a pass that could possibly be for 2nd when we come back to Max and Fengard racing for position. Eric DeMax trying to make it Toyota 3 wins in the last 4 races. He's looking pretty racy. He's not that far behind. Look at this. Dejon Weeks trying to get out in front of Jordan Davis is not going to happen, but he's going to be relatively close compared to where I thought he was going to be. I don't know. Maybe later in the run he can run him down, but Eric DeMax has moved up into what will be 2nd place when everyone pits. But Eric DeMax has been looking so good. Can he run down Jordan Davis for a possible 2nd win of his career? He just got around Jeffrey Fengard, and now Ryan Griffin in the 43 has still yet to come down pit road. Ryan Griffin is on pit road now. Only a couple of cars left to actually make the dive onto pit road. Jack Halleck will take the race lead for Roush Family Racing. And look at this. Lap lead for the 90 crew. They lead there under pit stops. Then it is James Shelley, who also has to pit. He has been really off the pace. Him and Zachary Fitzwater. And then the race lead should be handed over to Jordan Davis. Jeffrey Fengard has gotten back around Eric DeMax again. But as soon as I say that Eric DeMax has gotten back around Jeffrey Fengard again, and there's Ryan Griffin. He got a great stop. He's going to be able to beat out Dejon Weeks. Jack Halleck is the last of the ones to have to come down pit road, which means Jordan Davis is going to take the lead with 20 laps to go. Now that everyone has pitted, here is the running order for the remainder 20 laps. You see there, it is the 1 Ford of Jordan Davis there. Top 5 are all within a picture of each other. Davis leads over Eric DeMax. Jeffrey Fengard, that's the top 3. Then it is Ryan Griffin and Dejon Weeks. They have fresher tires by about 10 to 15 laps. They are relatively good there. They're 4th and 5th. Eugene DeMax in a one-off attempt. There he is in 6th. 7th for Sean Harpo. 8th for Luis Hernandez. 9th, Jesse Turner. And a little further behind, James Richardson rounds out the top 10. Jack Hallett is in the 11th position. 20 in the 12th car. 12th is the 24 car of Charles Sanford. Then it is PJ Williams, James Shelley, and then the 2 car of Jordan Fisher, who is a lap down. That makes up the top 15. It's probably going to be one of these 3 contenders for the win, but you don't want to count out Griffin or Weeks. They have the fresher tires. Jordan Davis has encountered lap traffic. Eric DeMax, Jeffrey Finguy going to get bunched up behind him. This could be Eric DeMax's best opportunity to try and make anything of this with Jordan Davis, but this has allowed Griffin and Weeks to really run these guys down. There they are. Weeks is also trying to either push Griffin or get out from behind him a little bit, but they are running the gap down, but the front 3 still nose to tail. Eric DeMax is taking a look. He's been looking out. He looked very close to wanting to make a move in turn 4. And here he is. He's pretty close. Can he make a dive to the inside? No, he can't. A little back. Ryan Griffin. You want to look out for this guy. Griffin and Weeks have one of the best cars, but I believe that 1 car is pretty good. But that 6 car has gotten very good with a great call to get him up in the mix of this. Eric DeMax. Can he possibly get his 2nd win? Oh, possibly. Oh my goodness, it has been such a great start for Eric DeMax since coming back from the summer break. Eric DeMax looking for 2 wins in the last 4 races on the back bumper of a 2-time champion. Jeffrey Finguy is on his heels too if he makes a mistake. As we're closing down on the remaining laps, and the front 2 and the 2 behind him, Griffin and Weeks, continue to run them down. Who would have thought that an overcut would have been very, very good for this race? Usually in the series, an undercut move on pit stops is a very good tactic to try and win the race. But it looks as though an overcut is where it's going to come for the race tonight. Ryan Griffin and Dejon Weeks, they're in 4th and 5th. They are very close now, within striking distance. They're going to get there. But where is the move going to come? Can Eric DeMax deliver in his Heinz Toyota? Trying to get around the Best Buy Ford. Jordan Davis continues to hold strong, while Griffin and Weeks continue to close. Finguy does not look like the best car right now, as he's struggling just a little bit. Here comes Eric DeMax to the inside. With 11 laps to go, Eric DeMax side by side with Jordan Davis. Davis gets shuffled about by Eric DeMax. What a move by Eric DeMax. Jordan Davis was caught sleeping there. He did not have a good turn forward, and Eric DeMax got underneath of him and shuffled him back. Ryan Griffin's there. Will Griffin decide to make a 3-wide move? He's going to push Jeffrey Finguy past Jordan Davis. And 5 cars battling for the win here in Indianapolis. For the Indy 250, it's coming down to it. Griffin to the inside of Finguy. Finguy shuts the door. Can Finguy keep off the fresher tires of Griffin and Weeks and do something with Eric DeMax? DeMax is going to get around James Shelley very cleanly. But here comes Griffin to the inside of Finguy. Nothing Finguy can do there. Ryan Griffin, with fresher tires, is looking to eat up the youngster of Eric DeMax here. Coming off turn 2, gonna look for a way around James Shelley here. Shelley is bottoming up these guys. Jordan Davis has a run on his teammate. And Davis is gonna use that momentum to get the inside of Dejon Weeks. Weeks had a good chance to fight for the win there. That will probably hinder him a good bit as he gets pushed down to 5th again. Ryan Griffin is right there. Griffin has had a heck of a season, and there he goes to the inside with 8 laps remaining. To the inside of Eric DeMax, and Griffin's going to get him here. Ryan Griffin looking to remain a title contender for 2019 as he takes the race lead. And Ryan Griffin trying to get redemption after a loss of a win last year at this racetrack. Jordan Davis to the inside of Eric DeMax. Griffin looking for his 6th win of the season. Ryan Griffin's been on a tear this season. He's had such a phenomenal year with Allen Family Racing Team. And with Griffin third in points, he comes to this race 22 behind comes in behind Dejon Weeks. And here comes Weeks to the inside. Was looking at my list a little bit, but Weeks has moved his way around Eric to Max. And he's looking at contact there with Jordan Davis. Got him sideways. And Dejon Weeks not wanting to give it up. He's got slight damage there to his front right tire there. But side by side, Eric DeMax is going to give him some help. But Davis has the momentum to hold off Dejon Weeks. I'm telling you, the Yamp boys have been racing each other very aggressively since the summer break. They know the championship's on the line, and they would like to see a Yamp car win the title. But they know the championship's on the line for them. And as Dejon Weeks hit Jordan Davis in the corner, it lost him out some momentum, and he fell down to 5th again. Right now, leaving this race, Jordan Davis would be 1 point to the good over Dejon Weeks in the championship, and he would take it back if it runs like this. But Eric DeMax, he's not even thinking about them guys. All these 4 drivers around him are fighting for a championship. He's just fighting for another win to the inside of Jordan Davis. And as soon as I said that, he goes from 2nd down to 4th and possibly 5th. Ben Guy going for 3rd place. But the run on the outside off the corner is very good. But I believe Ben Guy's going to shuffle Davis here. And Jeffrey Fenguy, who looked very solid to try and get a win this afternoon, he's not wanting to give it up. 5 to go. Dejon Weeks looking to go after him for 3rd. Can't do anything with him there. And Dejon Weeks is going to lose out to another position there. Jordan Davis gets back underneath of him. But right now, Weeks is doing just good enough to be right where he needs to be. But coming out of this race, it looks very good for Ryan Griffin as they just got clear of the lap car. Fitzwater and Eric DeMax made contact. And that's going to slow the momentum of the 6 car. And Jeffrey Fenguy is going to find an opportunity to try and get 2nd. Jeffrey Fenguy has finished 2nd a lot this season. He doesn't want to finish 2nd again. Here comes Weeks back underneath of him. But Fitzwater cuts in front of Weeks. Fenguy looking at the inside, maybe. Oh, he got very close to Eric DeMax. And Dejon Weeks does get back underneath of Fitzwater and keeps Davis behind him. Eric DeMax is going to have his hands full with Jeffrey Fenguy, but now clear to about 2 seconds. Ryan Griffin looks really good here. Fenguy has a run with 2 laps to go to the inside of Eric DeMax. I know Fenguy is probably getting tired of running 2nd, but I'm sure he will take it if it means he finishes ahead of that 38 car. Jeffrey Fenguy looking to nip into some more points here for the championship, but Weeks is looking to try and keep him back. Every little point matters. Here comes Weeks to the inside of Fenguy, but Fenguy can't give up. The outside line can be preferable, but Fenguy's going to have to do a crossover back underneath of him. And DeMax drops from 2nd down to 5th. The white flag flying in the air now for Ryan Griffin. Looking for redemption here in Indianapolis. It looks like it's going to happen for him. But one more time for these drivers. Dejon Weeks, Jeffrey Fenguy, Jordan Davis. Eric DeMax is there too, but he looks like he has fell down the order a bit. Ryan Griffin, this has been a blowout year for him. He's already up to 6 career wins. And this is looking like it's going to be his 7th career win and 6th win of the season. Dejon Weeks, who was spinning off the back straightaway earlier in the race, is going to get 2nd. But here comes the 43 of Ryan Griffin. Griffin off turn 4 is going to get a win in Indianapolis, his 6th win of the season. Ryan Griffin is a winner in Indianapolis. Griffin first, Weeks 2nd. Jeffrey Fenguy comes home in 3rd. Jordan Davis in 4th. And Eric DeMax in 5th. Wow. So Dejon Weeks, somehow Weeks wrecks off a turn 2 and comes back to finish second place, and he extends his championship lead over everyone but Ryan Griffin. And Griffin will leave this race 18 back, while Jordan Davis, who finished in 4th, he loses 4 points, means that Jordan Davis will leave 9 points trailing Dajon Weeks. Still very close. While Dylan Young and Ryan Acosta lose a lot of points. Ryan Griffin did what he needed to. A great afternoon for him. He gets his 6th win of the season. Congratulations to them. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 18.